of humming to the song. It still pisses me off. You know, Mike, when you hum to this song, you know what people think? They're like, oh, this is a singing podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Or they think, fuck that guy. For real.
Episode 3.
Episode 3. How you doing, Mike?
But seriously. I think eventually we're going to delete the first 2.
Why?
I don't know.
The second one was pretty good.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day. Hope everybody had a great Valentine's Day. I did. Mike had
What'd you do?
I went over to my girlfriend's house. I worked from sun up till sundown. I have a job at a grocery store. And then I went over to my girlfriend's house, and I was like, oh, let's go out to dinner. And then she was like, okay. And then she gave me, like, chocolate. And then, like, I was like, oh, I didn't get you anything. And she's like, fuck you. Like, the way I do things is I piss them off.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. Like, I was like, I didn't get you anything. I was like, oh, I thought we were just going to dinner. I didn't know. Like, I'm pretty believable.
Yeah.
And she's like, you fucking didn't think you should bring chocolate? And she was like, you probably didn't even get me anything. And then, like, when we got in the car, like, I had already set up, like, a teddy bear with, like, chocolate. And it was, like, really cute.
It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it was dumb. But, you know, I tried. And she's like...
She probably boned you for it, though.
No,
oh, okay.
You know. Don't... And then I was like,
she couldn't bone you.
Right there. She threw the teddy bear on the ground. She said, fuck that teddy bear. So yeah, then I was like, where do you want to go to dinner? We can go someplace nice. Like, because my definition of nice is like Chili's. And she's like, Applebee's, you know, appetizer, you know, and the waitress is too happy and everything tastes the same. Like, and then but like, I was like, that was a couple days before, and I was like, do you want to go to like IHOP? She was like, yeah, okay. Like, she wanted to make me feel better about myself for suggesting such a stupid idea.
Did you end up going anywhere, though?
Yeah, well, no, we didn't go to IHOP. We were driving by the IHOP. She's like, I don't really want IHOP. I was like, oh, okay.
Fuck you.
Yeah, she was like, like, in her mind, she's like, that's the stupidest fucking idea. Why am I with them? And then we went and we just kept driving down 19, and we eventually got to that place where the Twisty Treat is. You've ever been there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys had Twisty Treats for Valentine's Day?
Yeah. We had Twisty Treat for Valentine's Day. But it was, like, weird. It was cheap. Because I had brought, like, some money out of my savings and stuff because I thought we were going to be expensive. And then I was like... And then she eventually was like, I don't really want to go anywhere. And then, like, we got Twisty Treat.
Did you do anything?
We went to Twisty Treat, and then we watched, like, another Cinderella story with Selena Gomez. I'm not very good at...
That sounds awful.
Yeah.
You started out okay. You went to, like, Chili's. Perfect
We
place.
didn't go to Chili's.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you had plans to go to Chili's.
Yeah.
Perfect opportunity.
For what?
Whip it out, man.
Yeah, you just whip it out.
Yeah.
Girls like that.
And pancakes from IHOP?
Yeah, I like pancakes. She likes pancakes.
Pop those suckers right in there.
Yeah, you just... So I was thinking this week we should tell some disgusting stories because we really have nothing to say. So, like, you know, like...
Yeah.
Just some stories about it. Not disgusting. I don't know why I said that. Just stories about funny things that have happened to us. You got any stories you can tell? Probably won't end up being as funny as you think it is.
Yeah. I mean, my Valentine's Day was...
What? What was your Valentine's Day?
Should I say it?
Mike got a blowjob from a stripper.
No, I didn't get a blowjob. But my Valentine's Day was weird. It's always kind of weird. Valentine's Day was Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even tell which one was which because I didn't really do anything. I guess on Saturday, I sat at home. The whip it out thing didn't work for me this year because I didn't have anybody to whip it out on. So.
Not even Mr. Kenya?
No, not even Mr. Kenya. Mr. Kenya doesn't care about the front part. But
What? Yeah.
I don't think honestly, like, pedophiles care about the front part.
What, they care about the back part?
Yeah.
They want to touch the butt?
Yeah. I think that's usually what it is, right?
I guess so. I don't really know. It's a weird thing to say, but...
Like, I'm just, like if Mr. Kenya was a pedophile...
He is, 100%.
No, I didn't say he was never a pedophile.
He's not real.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing. He's just unfunny and not real. If there's two things I know Mr. Kenya is not.
That first podcast was so bad.
Yeah, no one's made it to 3.
The first
no one's got
the
it
first
this
podcast
far.
was so bad. And the weirdest thing is, did we mention this in podcast 2, episode 2, where like one of my friends found it somehow, and he like sent it to everybody that I know, and they all like loved it.
Yeah, it was like weird. Like people we know.
Like someone was crying, laughing at it. And I'm
yeah. But,
what the shit? The bag? And I'm like, why are you
that
laughing?
was not funny. It was bad.
Awful. Crying.
I was looking at SoundCloud, our account, and we got one comment on the last podcast, and it was some guy who doesn't have any posts. He just has an account. He said, "Why are you whispering?" And that was our first comment. It's just, "Why are you whispering?" And it's like the dumbest thing. It's just. Well, I think people who listen to this podcast need to know we don't care about anything.
This isn't the real thing.
Yeah, it's not like we're like, oh yeah, let's do a podcast because
we're fucking using one mic.
Yeah, I don't know if did I say it in this podcast? I
don't think we did a tester and then I cried or whatever.
The mic broke, so now we have to use one. It's just like we sound like we're in the same room as you. It's not like we're in your ears. We're like 30. Yeah. It's the same kind of effect. We're good.
Well, yeah, the first podcast has that stereo thing though, where it was like one in each ear. That was weird.
That was bad.
That was weird.
Yeah, because it was like.
Yeah. Yeah, you couldn't use one earphone.
Which people like to do, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going somewhere, it's polite.
So, do you have any stories you want to tell?
I have a couple stories.
Yeah.
They're kind of bad though.
Why are they bad?
So.
You tell one, and then I'll tell a long one, and then you can tell another one, and we'll stop.
So I'm thinking now that February 13th is cursed for me, which is like the day before Valentine's Day.
Why?
It just like fucks me up so bad that like no chance of a good Valentine's Day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
it sounds like the premise of like a really bad romantic comedy. Like February 13th was the worst day.
Shut up.
Every year, and then Mike goes, I never have any luck. And then like his friend who's like me, I'm like drinking a beer and I throw a dart. I'm like, maybe this year, bro. And then like there's this girl and she's like, February 13th, it's awful. And then her girlfriend's like, sister, it's gonna be all right this year. And then you both go to a bar and you meet each other. And then Journey's playing in the background. It's like, sing in a smoky room. And then you guys make our eyes. And then and then it's just like, coming this Valentine's Day.
February 13th.
The worst movie ever.
No, but, okay, so last year, I don't think I ever told this story on the podcast, but I've told everybody I know. So I really liked this girl last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a long time. She was a good friend of mine. We're still kind of friends, but it was weird.
I would assume.
So it was one of those things where like,
to our listeners, the number one way to get a girl to stop talking to you is to definitely try to date her. That they don't like that.
Yeah, they don't like that.
Girls don't like to be dated unless you have abs or money or you're a good guy, which I am neither of those things.
Symmetrical face.
Yeah. What if it's ugly on both sides? I have the same mole on both cheeks.
No, but
yeah. So tell me about this.
So anyway. So last year, February 13th, I really liked this girl for a long time, and I went over to her house to study for something because I was friend zoned pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I decided that'd be make my move, and I brought her chocolates and stuff. And when I brought it out, she was all like, "You deserve a hug."
Can I ask you a question? What did you think was gonna happen?
Well, I thought
you just start sucking your dick right there.
No.
Like, put those fucking chocolates down, you stuff.
I was in a weird place. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you get blinded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get blinded by the
light.
I think it was mostly I just wanted to. I think it was mostly like.
Oh, you want to? Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah. He did a little motion, like he went. Yeah.
I think it was a lot less of the whole like I liked her as a person and I was like crowded out by I just want to fuck her. I think that's what a lot of it was. So I think that's
this summer.
That's right.
February 13th. I just want to fuck her. She's like, I can't find any good guys. You deserve a hug.
And that's why I think like I'm an asshole too. You know what I mean?
Why do you think you're an asshole?
Like, cause of that. You know what I mean? Like, I guess every guy does, but I mean, to go there and expect the big
Oh.
chocolates, your friend would just be like, yeah, that was really nice of you. Let's go fuck. Let's go have sex right now.
I think that's just a normal part of finding, because as a guy,
I think it has
guys have to,
for a friend to become more than a friend. You gotta fuck.
Well, that's just part of being in a relationship. The difference between a
You
relationship.
need sexual tension there too, and I don't think there was any sexual tension. Somebody's coming in here.
Who was it?
It's one of the janitors.
Okay.
Oh, he's giving us a face again.
Yeah, well, he'll leave in a second. Does he want to be on? For anyone who doesn't know, we stay after school on Thursday for way too long.
What time?
The
3
janitors-
o'clock? Yeah.
Yeah.
Media center's closed.
Yeah. Why do we do this?
I don't know. No, but
Um,
that one time.
But yeah, I think it's important. Like, guys need to understand that it's not just. Stop looking at him. He's not like an animal. He's just a guy doing his job. Guys need to understand that there's a, she doesn't owe you anything, but there's a natural progression of like when you can understand when you like a girl and you can understand when you want a girl. And like those are two very different things, and I think you have to be at a point in your life with a specific girl, unfortunately, where you understand that, and there's always someone at the short end of that stick.
That was really deep, James.
Well, it's true. That's how I feel.
Well, yours worked out. You should tell them how yours worked out. Your situation was similar to mine.
No.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, with Candy. Yeah.
Candy, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I was in the club and like I was throwing them singles. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. I have a girlfriend, and it was kind of like friends transition to not friends, and it's good.
It's good. You don't want to talk about it, do you?
No, not really.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
We'll be good.
Did she
though.
listen to the other two?
I don't know.
Did you mention?
Hey,
it to
if
her?
you're listening, yeah.
Did you mention it to her at all?
Sorry.
That's probably an asshole thing to do.
Yeah. No, she knows.
No, she knows.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because you put.
I told her I was like I'm doing a podcast. She's like, all right, and she didn't care until I was like, she's like, asked me about it. Like she didn't care first 2 weeks, and then she was like, so let me listen to your podcast, and I was like, no, and then she thought I was cheating on her because like,
that's what happened with my mom.
oh, so,
That's what happened with
actually
my mom.
the same girl.
The same girl.
I'm dating your mom.
Shut up.
I'm kidding.
That's probably why she was so pissed. Two people were like,
Yeah.
no.
She's like, what is this podcast? What is this podcast?
No, but
He's gone. Okay.
what?
I think he left. There was a janitor in here.
Dude,
He kind of looked like
he has those bifocals.
Yeah.
They come out with his eyes look like 3 times that.
yeah.
And the one time we were leaving last week, we remember when we saw him?
Yeah.
In that one office with the lights out.
Yeah,
through one
he
of the
was just
windows?
sitting in someone's
He was just
office,
sitting
holding his stuff.
playing teacher or whatever. And he was like, sitting in their office
Yeah,
chair. It
that was funny. So I got a story. A couple years ago, my whole family had already gotten sick. They got this like stomach virus that was going around, and they were all puking and shitting their fucking brains out.
Yeah.
And so after they all got over it, I never got it, and I was like, oh yeah, because it'd been like a week, and everyone was like done, and then there was another week, no one had anything, and I was like, yeah, I fucking missed it. And then they're like, we should go to. You already know where the story's going. After just saying that, you're like, oh, he probably got sick.
Yeah.
So we went to Disney because like all my family was down, and they were all down, and they all hung out together, and so we were sitting around, and you know that there's this one part of the Disney where it's like Monsters Inc. and they do like a comedy show with like not really funny jokes at all. They're like how many teeth does a monster or something weird. I don't know. It was just weird, and then like they get the audience involved, and I was involved in part of it.
Did you shit your pants?
No. And I was like, that was like, okay, so they had they had cameras in the crowd to like point out people, and like I was sitting there and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna shit my pants, and right as I thought I'm gonna shit my pants, the camera went on me, and like they said something like, they were telling a story and they're like, and this guy went invisible, and I was like, I gotta shit my pants. I can't like pretend to be invisible, so I just covered my face, and it wasn't funny at all. But like, there's just a bunch of kids, so I can't just be like, I don't know. So then we walk out of there and we go on Space Mountain, which is after you're gonna shit your pants, you should probably always go on Space Mountain because that's.
You didn't go to the bathroom or anything first?
It kind of went away, when it goes away.
Oh,
So we're waiting on Space Mountain, and we get to the front, and I look at the guy, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna throw up and shit at the same time. So is there anything I can do to like get out of here? And he was like, well,
You have to ride the ride, man.
no, he was like, well, here's a ticket. Just give it to the guy, and he'll bring you to the front after you do whatever you need to do. And I was like, oh, that's really nice how they do that. So I went into the bathroom, shat everywhere, and puked. And then I laid on the floor of this disgusting Disney bathroom for 3 hours. My family didn't call. They're like, oh, so I guess James must be all right. He's just been in the bathroom for 3 hours. They had already done like half the rides.
How old were you?
This was 2 years ago. I was 16.
Why were you laying on the bathroom floor?
I had to like make myself puke. Like that's how bad my stomach
So you were
hurt.
like doing like
I was
crunches, like sit-ups?
No, it was a point, I was just like, I had puked like 8 times and I had already shat, and like the shit and puke were mixed together. And I was over this, I had fun. But I was on this, like, I just looked up and I was crying and I was like, why? Why is this happening to me? And then eventually I had to lay down because I just couldn't. So I laid down. It turns out I fell asleep for 3 hours and woke up, and I eventually called my uncle and I was like, hey, and he's like, oh, hey, what's up? Like, I just didn't face him that I had been puking. And I was like, yeah, I've been puking for the past 3 hours. And he's like, oh, we were wondering what happened to you. I'm like, oh, thank you. So
Thanks for the concern.
Yeah. And eventually, like, this guy came up, he's like, you all right in there? Like, he put his head over the stall, and he had this little kid next to him.
You were laying in the stall?
I was laying in the handicap stall for 3 hours. I had occupied the handicap stall, and no one cared. You could see my feet.
You could see your totally not broken legs.
And then eventually I get up and I wander out into the street, or not the street, like the walkway.
Yeah.
And I walk and I try to start walking towards my family. I'm like, oh fuck, I can't walk. So I sit on this bench next to this concession stand with this black lady who's arguing with a customer. Like, I didn't think you were supposed to argue at Disney. But she's like, this water is $9.45. And the guy's like, that's ridiculous. And they're arguing. I'm like, oh fuck. So I sit down on this bench and I lay down and I'm like looking at the sky and I'm like, feeling the warmth, and I'm like, I'm gonna be all right. And then I immediately puke all over the ground. I just puked in the middle of Disney at 16, just all over the ground. And the funniest part was I looked up, and no one was like concerned. They were just like, yeah, it's just a part of the daily. Even the black lady was just like, oh shit. And then she just went back to arguing. And then eventually I just kept laying there, and some Jamaican guy came up, like, he worked there, but he had a Jamaican accent. Yeah. And he was like, oh man, I can't do a Jamaican accent, but he was like, oh, I'll call 911. Like, is that, like, I don't puke at home and I'm like, oh, I gotta call the ambulance.
Because you're puking in the middle of Disney.
Yeah, but
you probably smiled too, like I'm gonna be a
projectile into the air. No, I just kind of rolled over and puked on the ground.
Yeah.
And then he just walked up and he was like, oh, okay. And he was like, do you want anything? I was like, nah, man. And he's like, all right. And he was really nice and he cleaned it up. And then I just kind of walked and found my family. And then we were walking out of Disney.
They probably thought nothing happened.
Yeah, they were like, no, they knew I was thrown up, but they really didn't care, which kind of makes me question my family. They were like, all right, well, we're gonna go on this ride now. I'm like, okay, well, I've been gone for 4 hours, and you don't seem the slightest bit concerned.
Hey, James, where you been?
I could have like wandered onto stage at one of the performances. I don't know.
How disheveled were you?
I was pretty disheveled. My hair was disgusting and sweaty, and I was just like...
Did you have puke on you?
I don't know.
Like chunks?
But we had to leave, so we went to this guy. I was like, can we just have this giant bucket so I can puke into it if I need to? And he was like, no, I'm sorry. I'm like, so if I need to puke, I'm going to puke on the floor, or I can puke into this ice cream or this popcorn bucket. So we had to buy popcorn, pour it out on the ground, and we were walking out. I puked again. And we got in the car. This is all like, I keep like fading in and out because I was so disgusting and sick. We were fading in and out. We were driving home. I wake up. I'm like, oh my fucking God. I just shat my pants. Shat my pants on the way home. I didn't say anything. And I wake up, and my aunt's driving me home. They're still at the park. One of my aunts decides to take me home.
Yeah. And she goes.
She didn't say anything. I walk into the house. I shit my pants again, throw up, and then fell asleep on the bathroom floor. And I've never been that sick in my life.
With shit in your pants?
Yeah, and I woke up and I just sat in the shower and cried. And then they gave me 5 free tickets. I was like, hey, I shat my pants and puked everywhere. They're like, okay, well, here's 5 free tickets.
That's nice of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they hooked you up.
That was a good story, right?
That was a good story. That was a funny ass.
But every time...
How many people do you think knocked on the handicap? It's like, oh, shit, when they look at you. Maybe they thought you were a handicap guy and someone stole your wheelchair.
But every time my family... I eventually fell asleep there. I wonder if I had stayed there, would they could I have stayed the night and woken up the next day? Because my family obviously wasn't that concerned about my whereabouts.
Damn, that is a pretty funny story.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it for this podcast. We're going to do another one, and then we're going to leave.
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
So thank you for listening. Like and leave a comment, because we like reading the comments. Don't leave why are you whispering, because we didn't whisper at all on this podcast. But I really appreciate you guys listening. We both do. Sorry the mic's broken. I don't think it's that quality. But thank you for listening. Have a great day.
So stupid.